morning, Parkland. It's student-teacher swap day today. Are you just like your favorite teacher? Today's weather will be sunny with a high near 68 degrees. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Today is a very important day in the history of Washington, D.C. D.C. celebrates April 16th as Emancipation Day. On that day in 1862, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Compensation Emancipation Act for the release of certain persons held to service or labor in the District of Columbia. The act freed about 3,100 enslaved persons in the District of Columbia 9 months before President Lincoln issued his Border Emancipation Proclamation. The District of Columbia Compensated Emancipation Act represents one example of compensation by the federal government to former owners and emancipated slaves. Check out this brief video about this important act.
The District Emancipation of 1862 happened 9 months before the Emancipation Proclamation.
A fundamental barrier to ending slavery was pure economics. Slaves were valuable. Many were even mortgaged to banks.
Lincoln viewed the Compensated Emancipation Act as an experiment.
Lincoln made freedom possible by compensating District of Columbia slave owners for the value of their slaves.
There were just over 3,000 slaves in Washington when the war began. That was 1/10% of all of the slaves in the South.
The program cost over $1 million, a price tag that couldn't realistically be expanded throughout the South.
And it was a very emotional, very spiritual moment for people who had been told for generations that they were moving towards freedom, but never thought they'd get there.
When they gained their freedom, that emboldened Lincoln and the nation to move on to the Emancipation Proclamation 8 months later.
Now let's head on over to Allison to see what's coming up at Parkland.
Let's begin with a little Parkland sports news. The Parkland girls soccer team claimed victory over Briggs Chaney by a whopping count of 11-1. The team was led by 4 goals by Sarang Karu, amazing offense and defense from Allison Duenas, and solid play from Mary Kolb and Jeneline Franklin. The play of the game occurred early when Parkland was up by a score of 1-0, and a rocket of a shot was attempted by Briggs Chaney. However, the outstretched arm of diving Andrea Calabria shut the door on the hopes of the early tie. Come to support the Panthers after school today as they take on Farquhar. Girl Tech will meet with after school with Miss Hall in Miss Hall's room. STEM night is tonight at 6 p.m. Everyone is invited for this fun event. Bring the whole entire family. Students interested in running for SGA President, Secretary, or 7th and 8th grade Vice President can pick up an election information packet from the SGA Bulletin Board across from the Media Center. Tomorrow is the last day of Spirit Week. It is Colorful Competition Day. Each grade will wear a different color, and there will be winners for the students who showed the most spirit. 8th graders wear red, 7th graders wear green, and 6th graders wear blue. Now here's Mohammed to tell us about the most profitable musicals of all time.
Thank you, Allison. Disney is a company that has had hit animated movies since the 1930s. On this week in 1994, they took a huge gamble and premiered a live-action musical based on one of its most beloved cartoons. Disney's Beauty and the Beast opened to rave reviews and record ticket sales. It was based on Disney's 1991 movie, the only animated movie ever nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Beauty and the Beast tells the story of a prince who is transformed into a hideous beast as punishment for his cruel and selfish ways, and an adventurous young woman named Belle, whom he imprisons in his castle. His servants are slowly becoming household objects. In order for the Beast and his servants to become human again, the Beast must earn Belle's love before it is too late. 7 new songs were written for the stage musical. Beauty ran on Broadway for 5,461 performances, grossing more than $1.4 billion. Check out this clip of Be Our Guest from the original Broadway production.
Monsieur, Mademoiselle, it is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you here tonight. And now, we invite you to relax as the dining room proudly presents your dinner. Be our guest, be our guest. Put our service to the test. Tie your napkin round your neck, Jerry, and we provide the rest. Soup du jour, hors d'oeuvre. You only live to serve. Try the gray stuff, it's delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes!
Say happy birthday to these students today.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear wonderful person who's having a birthday today. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Thank you, Muhammad. Abraham Lincoln said this in his opening to the Gettysburg Address. Our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Remember that you are equal to those around you, Panthers. You aren't better or worse than anyone else. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.